Welcome to RELAUNCH Cars. In this video we'll be driving from here in Auckland, New Zealand to Wellington. The trip will be done over 2 days, starting in Auckland, driving down country and stopping at the Chateau Tongariro for the night. On day 2 we will continue on to Wellington. For this trip we'll be taking my 2008 Suzuki Swift Sport. Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep Mickey happy. So, we start the journey here in Auckland. Auckland is home to 1.5 million people. It is the largest metropolitan area in New Zealand. We're just about to join the motorway here in Auckland. It's a beautiful winter's day here in New Zealand. We are just on 10 degrees and it's nice and sunny, and it should be good weather to the Chateau, which is our stopover point for the night. This is State Highway 1. State Highway 1 is a road that goes from the top of New Zealand to the bottom. Let me tell you a little bit about the car. It's a 2008 Suzuki Swift Sport, JDM import. Here in New Zealand, it's very common to find JDM vehicles. This is no exception. It's a little bit different from the New Zealand market vehicles. For instance, only came with a manual transmission, whereas this is automatic. It's automatic climate control, keyless entry, wing mirrors, heavy indicator side lights. So that's some slight differences. As you leave Auckland, you will find Huntly, which is such a tourist hotspot, they built a bypass right through it, so you don't have to stop. If you do, you can enjoy views of a river, a power station, and see the Decker sign, a relic from a long forgotten department store. Okay, so we're about 2.5 hours from our destination. I'm driving on what's pretty typical of New Zealand backcountry roads. I'm only going this way because the navigation has suggested it's a slightly faster route, and it is. It's actually remarkably free of traffic. Just arrived in Oak Tree Hunga. Much like any other small town, it's pretty quiet. There's not much to do here. There's not much of a reason to stay any longer than you need to. So it's about 11 degrees outside as we continue our drive. I feel this may be the warmest temperature we see today. So we've just passed by a motorcycle enthusiast, all dressed for the occasion in his leather wear, probably going off to do some light murdering in Taumaranui, which is our next stop. This is Taumaranui. If you ever want to visit New Zealand and you're thinking Taumaranui is on your list of destinations, here is a preview of what it looks like. So one of the things you'll find on New Zealand roads is huge trucks going really slowly up hills. And you get your first look at why we're here. The mountain, that's Mt Ruapehu, as you can see in the distance. The vista changes to pure New Zealand natural beauty, which is of course why people come here. Quite close now to our destination, and before we get to the hotel, we're going to actually go past it and go straight up the mountain to see what it's like. Right, so we're getting closer and closer now, and there it is, the Chateau Tongariro, where we will be staying this evening. But for now, we're going to continue on past it and go up the mountain to see what that's like up there. It's a perfect day here in Tongariro, and I assume there'll be a lot of people skiing up the mountain. As we continued climbing up Mt Ruapehu, more snow was visible and the temperature dropped further. You join me at the top of Mt Tongariro. The car's done really well. It's averaging about 7.5 litres per 100 k's. It's been a good drive. So next we're going to go and check in at the chateau and unpack. So I got the car a little present to mark its occasion of coming up here. So behind me is Chateau Tongariro. It's just past sunset and it's getting quite cold, so let's go inside and warm up. So you join me in my room now at the chateau. As you can see, I'm doing it properly with a glass of French Pinot Noir. So the chateau has a long and interesting history. It was designed by Timaru-based architect Herbert Hall. It was officially opened on 13th of November 1929. The chateau was commandeered by the New Zealand government as an asylum when an earthquake damaged a hospital in Wellington, and then served as a rest and recuperation centre for Air Force personnel returning from service in World War II. In 1948, newly renovated, the chateau reopened to provide accommodation for visitors to the Mt Ruapehu and the Tongariro National Park. Later that evening, I took some photos of the chateau, then drove up the mountain to take some astrophotography shots. Given the high altitude, clear weather, and minimal light pollution, I was able to capture some decent shots. The next morning, it was overcast and misty. So heading back down Mt Ruapehu on our way to Wellington. The weather has changed. It's actually quite clear out in front of me and it's really pretty. So it should be a good drive today. It's still on 2 degrees. Okay, so we're down from Mt Ruapehu now and we're on our way to a place called Ruapehu Motors. Ruapehu Motors is a scrapyard with a difference. It's the final resting place for many vehicles that have had accidents over the years on these treacherous roads. The vehicles can be as old as the 1900s. It also featured in the 1980s New Zealand movie called Smash Palace. Arriving at Ruapehu Motors, you will find a large selection of rusting automobiles. There is everything from Ford Sierras and Cortinas to 80s German and French cars, and if you don't mind the hazards, for about $10 you can go roam around the scrapyard. A lot of the cars inside are quite rare, and there is a good chance you will see something that you haven't seen on the road before. So we're approaching Ohakune. So Ohakune is a nice place to stop, and it's famous for having a big orange carrot. So we just passed over the Tangawhai Bridge, where the Tangawhai disaster happened. It was a massive train crash that happened on December Eve, 1953. It has significance for me because my father was born the day after. So our next stop is Wairau, which is home to the New Zealand military and army training areas. It is also home to the New Zealand Army Museum, which is a great place to stop if you are interested in army memorabilia and military history. Right, so we're coming into Taihape, which is another small New Zealand town, and this one is famous for gumboot throwing competitions. And of course it has a giant corrugated iron gumboot to commemorate this. Yes, we really do throw gumboots for competition in New Zealand. And there we are, there is the giant gumboot entering Taihape. Look at that, isn't that wonderful? Taihape events, literally an advertisement for gumboots right now. So as you can see on our left, there is a giant plane because we're in Mangaweka, and that's Mangaweka International Airport. Well, there you go, that's something you probably don't see down here very often. That's Bentley Bentayga, who is thinking about overtaking the truck. Is he going to do it? No. Oh, dearie me. That is not how you overtake in New Zealand, by the way. That's pretty poor. Alright, we are approaching Bulls, the punniest town in New Zealand. It's a small town in the Mt Ruapehu region, and they really go to town on their name. Everything in Bulls is a pun. Collectible, scrappable, movable. We've got a police constable. There's a Bulls museum. If you're extremely bored and you happen to stop here, you can go there. Sanson is famous for this place here, which is Viv's Kitchen, which we're going to stop at. So here at Viv's Kitchen, it's a woman's job to clean the baby's nappy. A recent news story came out about a man wanting to change his nappy here, and he wasn't allowed to because the changing room is in the female toilets. Which really does make me think this place is going to be quite old-fashioned inside. So I've just been to Viv's Kitchen and had a lovely cheeseburger. It really is a blast from the past. It's themed like an American diner, lots of bright colours, lots of memorabilia on the walls. So we've just arrived in Foxton. Foxton is home to Foxton Fizz, which is a soft drink, and a windmill. As you leave Foxton, you come across these really narrow bridges, and you're about to see rather a little scary. Trucks go on them, and there's not a lot of room for error. So we're just leaving Otaki, which means that we're almost in the greater Wellington region area. Soon we'll be on the Kapiti Expressway. And I must say it's nice to be back on a smooth road, because the Suzuki Swift Sport has a rather harsh and jarring ride, which is fine for around town, but on the open road and long journeys it's a little bit taxing. So if you are in the Wellington region and you like cars, stopping by Southwoods Car Museum is well worth a stop. It's, I think, the largest car museum in New Zealand, and is home to some very rare and interesting vehicles. Some of their vehicles of note is a Mercedes-Benz 500k, very rare. I think they're worth about $3 million now. The Mercedes Gullwing, a Mercedes 77k that was used by the Nazis in Germany. There's also Bugattis, Rolls Royces, Bentleys, lots of examples of classic motoring, from the small to the large, a huge range of 1950s cars. We've also got a DeLorean, and they've got some weird and wonderful stuff as well. They also have a huge range of motorbikes. So that's it, that's the expressway, it just kind of ends. The plan is for it to go all the way to Wellington. I think it's opening next year. Okay, so here we go. This is a road that you use to get to Wellington, and it's, I guess, quite pretty. So we're getting closer and closer to Wellington. Here, traffic's starting to build up as it's approaching 4 o'clock. Welcome to Wellington, where we keep our politicians in a beehive, hold events in a cake tin, and play cricket inside a roundabout. It's also home to Peter Jackson and his film studios. If you are thirsty, then you can go join all the hipsters on Cuba Street and grab a coffee. Or if you like beer, then go join all the hipsters at one of the many craft beer breweries. Wellington is also the home to the National Museum Te Papa. It's often voted the most livable city. Well, after 2 days we've made it back to Wellington. The cars perform faultlessly, and all it needs now is a good clean. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, consider liking it or subscribing to my channel down below. I aim to bring more video content soon, but for now I'd like to thank you for watching and say goodbye.